All right. Hello, folks. I am the Gothic Storyteller. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And today we have a very special episode of Throwback Cinema. We are here with Joe Grisaffi of Houston born native. He is a Houston based actor and award winning director who has worked on such films as Laughing Boy, Dead of Night, Conjoined, and Lars the Emo Kid. He's also acted in a few of those projects, as well as Old Man Jackson, Joe Returns a Video, Teacher Shortage, Bit Rolls, and Scream Legacy, and was also in Stranger Things season 4. Like you've done a whole lot. You're not the only Houstonian I've realized has been in Stranger Things, but it's pretty big to interview someone that's been on that show.
It was an amazing experience. Uh, it was during COVID, so it was November 2020 when I got cast,
Mm.
and so there's a lot of when I got cast. It's like I had to get to Atlanta, but I didn't want to fly, so I drove um, because I didn't want to. You get test positive for COVID, the job's gone.
Yeah.
It's just like that, and I was like, I got to stay away from people for this whole week.
Well, yeah, that definitely fits and everything because you don't want to be stuck in a can in the air and then catch whatever. But you drove all the way from Texas to Georgia.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that's
That's
2 day trip, and
that's commitment.
but it was totally worth it. Just got to relax and get out of the house for a week
Mm-hmm.
and rehearse those lines, which was incredibly difficult. My scene ultimately got cut. It was episode
Oh,
2 in season 4. I was just so disappointed when I got cut, but they left me in there for a split second, so I got screen credit at the end. I
that's
still got
good.
co-star credit in that episode and residuals.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So it's Well, it would have been much better to be seen. Even they had me in. I was a army medical examiner, so I'm the one that was examining Chrissy.
Okay.
And but so they had me in the mask that a doctor would wear. So you would not really have recognized me other than my voice.
Okay. You may
But I
need
want to
to
tell myself,
you may need
I
to
want to
send me
say
a
that.
screenshot of that.
Okay, I will. I believe they. I want to believe they thought I did a good job, so they kept me in there for that split second so I could get paid.
Hell yeah. We love it. Is that your first
Yeah,
Netflix job that you
that.
did?
Oh yeah,
Nice. That's still
yeah.
impressive. Like, even if it was just for a bit role, it's like,
I mean, it was the biggest show in the country at the
yeah.
time. It was a very big deal,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't talk for a year and a half until it came out.
So, before we get into the meat of why we have you here, Joe, I want the folks here at home who probably don't know who you are unless you're Houston based and you're in the know. Just who is Joe, the actor, the filmmaker? Who is he?
I am just a guy who loves making movies. I like baseball. In fact, I play some baseball. In a couple of months, I'll be back out on the field once my ankle heals up. I was born and raised here. I thought I was going to, I feel like I was being led into the car business, which is my family business,
Hmm.
but I decided I didn't want to do that and wanted to become an actor and a filmmaker. I loved movies since I was a little kid. I grew up in the movie theater. My dad taking us to movies in the 70s. And what we were big into at the time was the eco terror movies like Nature Gone Wild,
Yeah.
Food of the Gods, Empire of the Ants, H.G. Wells stuff are some of my fondest memories of the movie theater at the time. But and through high school, we were always at the movie theater, so that just felt like the natural way to go.
Mm.
And it's been a long haul.
I also find it's very weird that I think the one movie that really made me fall in love with films and probably would have went on to, I guess, make me want to be a director and a screenwriter. It was King Kong versus Godzilla. It's like so
Yeah,
nature based. It's all like yours was the films like Frogs and everything and Food of the
right.
Gods. And I'm like over here, it's like, yeah, like I remember a young me that was happy to see a giant lizard and a primate just go to town on one another, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
I will say that it is difficult to go back and watch those movies we remember so fondly at the
mhm.
time. It wasn't too long ago that I rewatched Food of the Gods, and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. Why do we love it so much?
Because it's so bad. It's so good.
It wasn't though. When it was new, it was. This was, I can't believe what I'm watching.
Well, that's what I felt too with Godzilla and King Kong, because I think it was before I left my mom's, I got that, we watched it together, and I didn't realize how hypersexual it kind of was. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe my mom let me watch this. But my mom also let me watch The Exorcist at like age 4. You know, she let me watch almost anything as long as it wasn't too gratuitous. So it's all like, mom knew what was okay for me. And apparently a woman half naked dancing in front of King Kong and wooing him, that was a-okay. That was a-okay in her book.
It was a motivated nudity. It's okay. It wasn't gratuitous.
I gotta use that in the future. Motivated nudity. Oh my God. So we are here, folks, for the up and coming horror film Slugger. So Joe has mentioned that he's a fan of baseball. Some of the films I did mention, like conjoined, are horror films. So you are blending two passions and two loves. Where did that idea of Slugger come from?
We were making Dead of Night, and I just dawned on me that baseball hasn't had a horror film that's baseball hasn't had a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And then I researched, and at the time, and I really did realize that there was one called The Catcher with Joe Estevez, and I got a copy of it and watched it and go, okay, my idea there's no issue here. There's no conflict. There's no ripoff. Nothing. It's just that was a very low budget movie. We're going to make a very low budget movie too,
Mm-hmm.
but the idea came from uh, the idea of having this baseball bat with a circular saw blade in it. At the time, I hadn't seen anything. Someone had done one with half a blade. I hadn't seen the whole blade. I think someone has actually done that since, but we're going to run with it anyway. And it was, the idea of Slugger was supposed to be a direct following from Dead of Night, where the detectives from Dead of Night are called to investigate this other series of crimes.
Okay.
And the main idea I don't want to give away because it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
The main spark is now a spoiler to tell you what really sparked the idea.
Yeah.
In fact, I was working on that yesterday. That element of it, trying to do the math. It's literally a math problem to make it, because the way it's written is the result of what happens is not physically possible.
Okay.
And I was working on the math to see, okay, given how hard you can hit a baseball, if you hit something else that hard that has more mass, how far would it actually go with everything else being the same?
Okay.
So that it gives the detectives actual detective work to do.
It's giving me a visual too, and it's really gruesome.
So now the detectives aren't just like walking around they're going to actually solve something.
Okay.
And to add to that, Conjoined is actually in this universe because the two detectives that were in Dead of Night are actually in Conjoined.
Ah.
People at the time when people watch Conjoined, it's just a throwaway bit, but at the end we actually reference Slugger.
Okay.
When the other detective Sutherland walks in and says, "You ain't gonna believe this shit," which was his memorable line from Dead of Night. He hands Detective Waters, Sarah Gaston, a file folder, and she opens it up, and there's a picture of a severed arm and the baseball bat.
All right.
We don't actually see anything else about it, but it's in that universe now.
Okay. Did you, by any chance, did you kind of go out of your mind thinking, I am going to kind of make this loose, connected universe, almost similar to almost like a Stephen King-ish, where, like, you know, the characters kind of come and go. You know, they may not be, you know, I guess tight structured, but it's all like, this world exists within, you know, vast other ones and everything. If hopefully I've said that correctly.
Night and Slugger connection was intentional.
Okay.
From the very beginning. Conjoined was an afterthought. Like, oh, we're gonna make this. Let's make the detective Sarah.
Okay.
And tie them together.
All right.
They all stay you don't have to have. There's no connection other than the character, so you don't have to watch all three to have a complete story.
Yeah,
It's just like a standalone movie.
you
But if
can.
you happen to see the others, it's like that's a nice little touch, a nice little throwback.
It's something to reward the audience for, obviously getting deeper into your filmography and be like, isn't that the same guy? Holy crud,
It's the same
sh-
character.
shared universe through loose connectivity,
Right,
which
right.
I love that and everything. I kind of really wish that that's what Hollywood kind of does today, but no, everything has to be so tightly knit and everything. But I love that.
Yeah,
Um,
it would be like, a Jack Ryan story where you can enjoy the hunt, not Hunt for Red October, um,
yeah,
by itself, but it's the same character throughout the whole series. Indiana Jones, where you don't have to pick up any one of the movies and know what's going on.
yeah, it's not gonna
No,
be the end of the film. It's like now you got to go watch Conjoin to
right.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that, and I always liked it because I do remember. I think I watched Indiana Jones. I think in a weird. I think I watched Temple of Doom, then Raiders, and then I watched. Oh my God, I'm gonna hate myself for this later. The one with Sean Connery, The Holy Grail. Yeah, yeah, that one, and I'm like. But yeah, I like that. I really kind of wish that filmmakers would do that just a little bit more. So,
There's the hope that when you watch, there's going to be a whole new audience for Slugger. There's
hmm
going to be some people that have seen all of them, but there'll be a. We're going to hopefully this will reach a bigger audience, and afterwards we'll put a reference to Dead of Night and Conjoined in the credits. See Sarah Gaston and Dan Braverman in Dead of Night and Conjoined, and hopefully those people will go back and rediscover our past work
okay,
and
okay,
and get they're all connected.
all right. Um, my brain stopped. I do so
Okay.
apologize. It's been a long Monday, folks, and everything. I've been looking forward to this, and I've been nervous. I've been out of the interview game. So with is there anything you could tell us maybe a little bit more about these detectives from Conjoined and Dead of Night that are going in the Slugger without getting too much into spoiler territory?
Sure, they're played by Sarah Gaston and Dan Braverman, who I've known seems like forever now, and their chemistry as actors is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So it would break my heart if I had to replace one of them for any reason. I want them to. I want that energy, that charisma, that connection on the screen. Um, they are uh, good. They are good detectives. The characters are hard workers. They take their job seriously. Um, Maybe Sarah Gasson, the character, we did kind of poke fun at it and conjoin. So she took it really seriously with the film noir type monologues and stuff just for comedy effect. But we're going back to make it grounded in reality.
Mm.
Hence the physics problem that I was trying to solve.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Because
okay.
like when you ask that, all I can think of is all like, well, when Jason Takes Manhattan, he knocked the poor kid's head off, and it flew quite a ways just to land into like the dumpster and everything. So it was all like, so you really trying to ground this into where it's not like a hatchet Jason Voorhees murder film. It's
I want to, while I want to have elaborate kills, is that my phone or yours? That,
uh I don't know.
that's Sarah, by the way.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I want it based grounded in reality. We're going to try to make it not light, but there's going to be light moments because I do like having light moments that are interrupted by something serious
hmm
by letting the audience's guard down. Like, okay, we can relax for this scene. No, you can't. But if we raise enough money in our Kickstarter campaign, I've got these pretty elaborate kills planned.
okay,
Some are based on things we've seen before. Others I can't think of any. Couple of kills I can't think of it being anything we've seen before.
all right,
I mean, of course, I've not seen every single horror film, so I don't know if we're borrowing from something. We're going to be compared to something else. But in my mind, I see a couple of kills that are relatively fresh because we've seen people killed with a baseball bat, sure,
hmm
but it's not all about the baseball bat. Um, so not everything's going to happen with the bat, and have these elaborate stunts in mind for the kills that we can't really pull off with a low budget.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my Kickstarter goal, if you don't mind me talking about that, is 25,000, which
Mm.
will allow us to make a movie.
Okay.
The stretch goals at 50 and 75 will go towards making those kills more elaborate, hiring the proper stunt people, and lifting people off the ground, throwing them distances,
Mm-hmm.
and not just knocking them out with a bat and have them fall to the ground,
Yeah.
which would probably $20,000, $25,000 level if
It's an
because
accent. It's an accent kill too. It's not just the bat. It's what the purpose is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Again, we'll make a movie at 25,000. We'll make a much bigger movie at 50 and 75. If we were able to get 100, the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah.
Because my movies have been very low budget, very low budget.
But before we touch on the low budget, I do want to inform those listening. The Kick Booster is the website. I will drop the referral link in the comments below once this video is uploaded onto YouTube and everything. The fundraising on that starts, I believe, March 17th, so in 8 days. Yes, March 17th at 8 days and everything. So, folks, go click down in the comments if you're watching this after the live, or if you're watching it live, and then afterwards, I will be pinning that down there for my referral link and everything, so we can sit there and help Joe get his movie made. I'm already hooked. This shared kind of connected universe with the detectives, kind of not to go a little off tangent. I kind of like that with what Stephen King's doing with his crime stuff with the Holly character. It's like she'll pop up somewhere and it's like, okay, this is a Holly story. It's loosely connected in these detective stories. And so you already have me hooked with that, and now you have indie horror, with a blade and your bat, and I'm all like, you know what, I'm sold on this. I was excited before the interview, and hearing you talk about this, it's like, I love it. I want it made now. I want to see it.
Thank you. We started this process in 2008. That's when I pitched the idea to my friend screenwriter Emilio Lasiello, who wrote Dead of Night. I said, "Here's
Mhm.
another idea. Could you do this?" And he graciously wrote our script. And we're going to update it since it's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
But it's been in our back pocket for quite a while, and for various reasons, conjoined and Lars the Emo Kid being two of them,
Okay.
the movie just getting put off because after Dead of Night, we were supposed to do Slugger. And when I met Paxton Gilmore and I saw his short film Lars the Emo Kid, I told him, "Hey, I love this short film. If you can write me a script based on your short and I like it, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and make your movie."
When was the
And
first? Oh, sorry.
it was he did a short film called Lars the Emo Kid.
Okay.
At the time,
I was gonna ask, what was when did you and Emilio started working together? When?
probably I think we wrote Dead of Night in 2006 or 2007 because we started filming it in 2007.
Okay.
And given the nature of the low budget nature of the movie, I mean, to finish the movie, I spent less than $4,000. It took a long time to shoot. I think we were filming it for 16 months on
Oh
and
my
off.
God.
And I do not ever want to do that again.
Was that like one of the things of everyone had to go to work, and in the weekends it's all like,
Right.
yeah.
It was exactly that. It was, we're going to shoot this over the weekends, and sometimes we plan a weekend and someone had to drop out because of work, and I had to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ultimately took 16 months. So there's a lot of stuff we cut that we just didn't film because we just were taking too long. But the movie's fine with without the things we cut. And then post-production took a while. Then we started filming Lars the Emo Kid before Dead of Night was actually finished. And it became a convoluted mess for me personally, trying to keep up with all that.
Yeah.
And but we got it done. So I think hopefully people that come and join our Kickstarter will see that the dedication is there.
Yeah.
We've done this 4 times. We're going to finish a 5th.
Hell yeah.
But we want it in a reasonable amount of time.
So going back to the short budgets, the mini budgets and everything that you've done. So this is going to be your biggest one.
In scope, I want this to be my biggest one.
Okie
It
dokie.
could be my biggest one budget wise, but Laughing Boy right now takes that cake at $45,000.
Okay.
Um, and the reason that costs so much is because we actually shot on film
Oh,
back in '88. We shot on 16 millimeter film, and of course, that's not cheap.
yeah.
We did film the whole thing in a 2 week time span plus a pickup day months later.
Mm-hmm.
So time we did it in the right amount of time.
Okay.
But the production value is pretty low because everything was mostly in one house. It was at a party. Um, Post production was fine because I had a little bit of money. I was willing to spend my own money on things that because this was my first time trying to finish a feature. Um, then Dead of Night came along and we shot and finished that for less than 4,000. Still, it was all my own money, but now that we were shooting digitally, there's a lot of things I could do myself without
Yeah.
having to hire.
Okay.
Same with Conjoined and Lars the Emo Kid. We actually completely finished Conjoined for less than $2,000.
Less than
But
2,000.
that and it kind of looks like it too. But that was the whole point of the movie.
Oh,
It
okay.
needed it looked like a low budget drive-in movie,
Okay.
and all the actors agreed to do it for payment down the line, and they actually got some pay, not as much as I would have liked, but we did pay them something down the line. And then Lars the Emo Kid uh, was visually, production wise, my biggest movie. But we still got that shot for $2,000. Then I got sick and couldn't decided I can't do post production on my own. But I did edit it. But we hired Christopher Bork to do the sound mix, and then we bought licensed some music. So ultimately ran about 12 or 13,000 to finish that.
Jesus.
But that one looks like it would cost a lot more than it did.
Mm. So my thing is that I want to sit there and ask is what would you sit there and say to someone coming in the film industry working in that budget of what you were working around with Lars and all the other ones, and now kind of slowly working your way up with Slugger?
I was able to pull it off because I'd spent many years in the film scene here locally
Mm-hmm.
prior. Um, I think my karma was good because I had helped a lot of other people get their movies done for free. I had put in my time and made a lot of friends and got a lot of support. And I think if you're trying to do a movie for no money and you want to get good people, go out there and show that you're supporting other people first.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you'll be excited to make your movie, but if you don't have any money and you need people to do favors for you, you have to show them that they're not wasting their time.
Yeah.
So get out there and work hard for other people, meet some people, get your name known a little bit, let people know that you're professional and that you're worthy of helping, and that the big thing is, how do you prove to these people shit?
Yeah.
Because so many, you probably know, so many of these low budget things just never see the light of day
Yeah.
because for a variety of reasons, but the filmmaker didn't really know the marathon they were about to get involved with.
I
It's
know exactly.
it's a long run. You got to have some stamina to get it done, mental and physical.
I definitely agree. My first and only short film that we did on a budget of 3,000, and that was just going through production. The rest of my team dropped it at post, and I just decided years later, it's like I'll drop it unfinished. They kind of put it to rest for me and everything because I was kind of upset. I was like, oh well, I didn't really get a chance to make the film I really wanted, but I was like, you know what, edit it as best as I can, release it, and my community still enjoyed it. They're all like, we kind of get what you were going for. Yeah, you probably needed a bigger budget to wrap up your post production because that's what it needed and everything. And yeah, um, thank you for sharing that insight and everything because I.
This because this was my wall to get over.
Mhm.
Um, I wanted each one to be perfect,
Yeah.
so I did production and post production. There are things I got hung up on that you would not have noticed or even cared about when you watch it, you as the viewer. So I wanted it to be perfect, and that's why some of the post production took so long. And the reason we did conjoined the way we did, because finished is better than perfect.
Hmm.
I got hung up on some details in post production on Dead of Night that probably cost me a year trying to fix or just worrying about that it's not going to be good enough. And no one has ever said anything about those issues ever. So when we did Conjoined, the deal was we're going to shoot this in less than 2 weeks, 9 days, and I'm giving myself a deadline. If finished or not, this is the date we release it on, October 13th or 14th of that year. So I'm giving myself a deadline to work hard and finish it as quickly as I can. But if there's mistakes, we release the mistakes. And in many cases, the mistakes provided the biggest laughs
I
and made the movie was supposed to be a comedy in the first place with under a horror umbrella,
mm-hmm.
but the mistakes made it look like this low budget movie that by a couple of amateurs that would get some laughs, and it sure enough those mistakes got
It
some the
helps you.
big yeah.
Yeah.
But it was part of the design. If we can fix them, we have time to fix them, great. But if we don't, it's there by design.
Okay. Okay. I definitely wish that I had that mindset kind of going in, because I definitely kind of felt it with mine, because mine was supposed to be more of a gothic horror drama, very akin
Right.
to like Hammer, like the early Hammer, not like Hammer with the lesbian vampires. I love my lesbian vampires, but not that Hammer. But like I definitely felt like when I was on set, I was straight to work, and I definitely took everything seriously. I maybe wasn't near as perfection of like I need to have this perfectively shot, but I just needed to get it done. Like we need to get this done. But I don't know. I guess looking back at it, and I mean, I looked at it, and it's like, man, you could have been something so much more. And I let that hang up on me. I think that's like probably why I never wrote another screenplay whatsoever. It's because I kind of felt like this is my first time doing it, and I couldn't even get it right. And I got in my head that I had to break myself of that.
Get it right the first time. I might laugh. I did one short film before I did Laughing Boy. That short film was Death and a Salesman, and I was very fortunate that most everything went right. But I had the most important thing I did was I got basically my mentor Jim Barham,
Mm-hmm.
who was a senior DP at the time, a working professional, and I was right out of college, but I had interned with him at David Berman Films, and he agreed to shoot that film over a 2 day weekend for us for nothing. So I had some classmates, some people I brought from another film that we did that I worked on
Mm-hmm.
uh, b- shortly before that. But we had what I had was this guy who had decades more experience than I did, uh, basically in charge of the camera. So that took a lot of pressure off me, made me look really good
Yeah.
as it was in focus. He helped when we ran out of time. He helped me consolidate shots to make sure we made the day. Um, you want to hire people that are better than you, that have more experience than
Mm-hmm.
you. They will make you look good. You will level up having worked with them, and you basically look much better than you would if you try to do everything yourself.
I think a lot of people probably sit there and think that somewhere along the line they probably, I don't want to sit there and say they probably masked themselves as Kubrick or Spielberg, but I've always kind of sat there and learned that, if you have someone that knows how to do their job, leave them the fuck alone. Work with
Yeah, that's
them,
exactly.
leave them the fuck alone, let them do their job, and you worry on your job. Which I was thankful my DP, Dash Kennard, um I was like, I didn't really have to question anything. Dash just told me, you want this shot right there? I was like, I want like that. Get it as best as you can. And they're like, oh, okay. I was like, and I went straight to the actors, and I did my job. First time directing, and I hope I did a good job. But I hope, I think we all kind of question ourselves when it comes to doing our jobs. But
That's I think questioning yourself, realizing you don't know everything is actually healthy. Walk onto your set with humility.
mhm.
Uh, Listen to other people because your crew might have some good ideas if there's time to listen and execute and try them. I know on Lars the Emo Kid, we crew would step in and say, "Oh, this might be funny." Yeah, you know what? That would be funny. Let's do that. And it was funny every time. Um, be humble and don't walk onto your first set like you're Kubrick or
Yeah,
Coppola or any because you're not yet. And
yeah,
that's maybe a long time before you can have that kind of confidence.
exactly.
But try to work with people that are better than you, that have more experience, because they'll cover your ass. They will. If you get stuck, they will dig you out of it.
All right, all right. Um, I think we did well today and everything. Any final thoughts for Slugger before we wrap up this interview?
I have not been this excited about making a film in quite a while, and the support I'm getting from the community has been really really reaffirming, very positive, and it even makes me even more excited. I can't wait. I'm just so eager. I want to hit that Kickstarter launch button today. I'm so like, I think this is going to work. I think we're gonna make it. But if you like baseball and if you like horror films, I think we're really giving you a good mashup,
Hmm.
because we're trying to uh, keep stay true to baseball and what baseball means to a lot of people. Where there's we study the original "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," Casey at the Bat, the famous poem, trying to bring all our baseball knowledge into this movie and provide a lot of Easter eggs and little highlights that true baseball fans will catch, but casual viewers doesn't matter if they miss it or not, catch it or not.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we're trying to be loyal to the sport while also being true to horror fans and the genre.
We love that. We especially like we love it when other people bring their other passions into the genre and they're all like, I want to marry this with this. And let's see what deformed baby that we can make to scare people or make them laugh and everything with that. But folks, March 17th, 2026, that's when the Kick Booster will open. I believe if you click the referral, it will inform you to notify you when the Kick Booster does start, correct?
The referral should bring you to the preview page for on Kickstarter, and you
Mm-hmm.
can click notify me on launch.
Mm-hmm.
That way, we'll get an email Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. March 17th when we go live.
There you
And
go,
as an
folks.
added bonus, this is amazing. There's a local journalist who says if we can hit 50% of our goal quickly, and to me, quickly is going to be Major League Baseball opening day,
Mm-hmm.
which is 9 days later. If we can hit 50% by the opening day of the baseball season, they will be able to pitch this story to local media, in which could blow the thing wide open.
Then let's do that. Let let's
Yeah,
let's get it done, folks. Let's sit there. Let's support indie filmmaking because I'm getting on my soapbox here because you know what? If you're tired of all the remakes, if you're tired of all the bland stuff that's coming from Hollywood, you have to look forward to the indies. And I definitely feel like with how Hollywood's kind of going, this is the time for the indies to have another swing. Hey, look, I did a baseball pie. I'm not even a baseball fan, but there you go. But it's the indies' time to have another swing. It's them to have that second wind, uh, just like in the '90s and everything. And if you love to sit there and support people like Joe and other indie filmmakers and everything, then go click on that referral, hit that notification so you know when that Kick Booster launch, and support them. Support your local indie filmmakers because believe it or not, that's where a lot of the treasure is. You mentioned earlier how some of your films, like I think it was Lars the Emo Kid, of like how it was meant to kind of look bad because like those '70s drive-ins. I think like watching films like those, they don't make those anymore and everything.
well,
There's a magic to it. There is a
yeah,
magic to
conjoined.
it.
Um, and there is a magic to it because you go back and watch your favorite '70s indie flicks. They're not perfect by any means,
Mm-mm.
and the prints didn't hold up either in many cases. So there's scratches and flaws and edit. You had to go back if a frame got destroyed, you had to cut and actually put the film back together,
Mm-hmm.
splice the film back. So yeah, Conjoined was meant to be that movie. Lars the Emo Kid was actually trying to do the best work I possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, it's films like that and everything. When you go look back, yeah, you kind of know it looks a little fake and everything. But the thing is with with that type of magic that what it had, I don't want to say whimsy. I don't think it's whimsical, but with the magic that it had, it could just make you just sit back and relax and just enjoy the film. And I think that's what we need more of. We need more of that type of feel in cinema, regardless if you're being serious or not. I miss that because there's obviously something missing in filmmaking. And this sounds like a nice, great step towards maybe trying to go back to. Sometimes it's okay to go back. So it's okay to go back and everything. Go back to the magic when films felt like films.
When you didn't have a necessarily have a formula
Mm-hmm.
that Hollywood has now. There are some things horror films expect, and we're trying to stay true to those. in Slugger, but we are probably taking some creative liberties that Hollywood may not, trying to break some of the formula.
Yeah. And that's what matters most. It's not to make it feel so formulaic to the point that people are not on their bloody fucking phones in the theaters. It's like, no, it's all like, I think once you break formula, then they're like, oh, I have to pay attention. What's going
And
on?
with AI becoming so prominent, and we
Hmm.
are going to see full AI movies in the very near future. Um, Please support your independent filmmakers, because we're the ones that are going to ultimately keep cinema alive and real.
Hmm. Keep it human made.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so
We're going
much.
to put out art.
Can you repeat that last bit? You kind of went
Yeah,
out.
we're going to independent films are going to have heart that
Hmm.
AI is not.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much again, Joe, for being here for this
Yeah,
interview. I graciously appreciate it. Hopefully, we can have you back on later when you are making the film. I would love to sit there and hear more stories about, you as a director, filmmaker, actor working on these indie sets. I love to actually hear more of those stories and everything. Folks, you guys know what to do. We told you what to do earlier and everything. The links are all down below. Follow them as we instructed. And thank you guys again for watching, and we'll catch you guys all later. Have a good one.